For the uninitiated, an Interpol red notice is no small news. It is really a worldwide notice sent to law enforcers everywhere, marking someone as wanted for serious crimes. Though it is not by itself an international warrant for arrest, it serves the purpose of putting a suspect under a worldwide glare of justice. A red notice can lead to airport arrest, observation in other countries, or even extradition action based on the degree of cooperation among states. It is in all respects a public statement that an individual has caught the eye of international policing powers. Now think of that sort of worldwide alert being attached to South Africa's sitting president. Yes, you read that correctly. Sources within diplomatic and security circles are buzzed with rumors that President Cyril Ramaphosa will be soon designated in an upcoming or likely already issued Interpol red notice. The charges associated with this possible notice are breathtaking: huge-scale financial crimes such as money laundering, illicit asset concealment and cross-border corruption relating to offshore transactions. For a nation still reeling from state capture and corruption scandals of past governments, the notion that the sitting president might be involved in such global allegations has dropped like a thunderclap. What was being murmured in back rooms is now spilling into public discourse, keeping South Africa on tenterhooks. Formal confirmations are still out, but political sources indicate that the ANC has already been informed in a series of backroom crisis meetings. If reports are correct, this would be the first time during South Africa's democratic history that an incumbent president faces scrutiny of this caliber from global policing institutions. Within the confines of Latuli House, party headquarters, ANC members are reported to be reeling from what has been termed a global political ambush by some. Party leaders were said to have had no prior indication that Ramaphosa's name would emerge in relation to such serious accusations. The consequences are instant. Doubt, fear, and even panic are percolating among the ranks of the ruling party. Insider sources say senior leaders such as Gude Mantish and Deputy President Paul Moshetel have been busily trying to track down what led to this global escalation. Speculation falls on new revelations in Parliament by Democratic Alliance leader John Steenhuisen. With a heated speech, Steenhuisen uncovered what he called a treasure trove of financial documents tying Ramaphosa to undeclared foreign earnings and offshore tax havens. Whereas the ANC attempted to downplay the charges as political posturing, the timing is now being questioned. Might the revelations have given the spark that drove things from local scandal to global legal crisis? If it is, then South Africa is now poised to enter an experience without parallel in its post-apartheid past. Experts in international law are already sounding off on the consequences. A currently sitting head of state facing an Interpol red notice is exceedingly unusual. It only means that there is extreme legal risk and the fact that credible evidence exists to justify international policing interest. When the experts talk, if Ramaphosa's name does end up on Interpol's list, it would be calamitous to his presidency, not to mention the country's global reputation. The consequences would not be isolated to the world of politics alone. The international reputation of South Africa might be directly dented. Foreign affairs, trade alliances, and even aid agreements could all be under immediate consideration for review. A few nations might bar Ramaphosa or his ministers from entering, and many may reconsider diplomatic pacts in their entirety. Rumors are already prevalent that European Union envoys and other Asian countries have requested discreetly about being briefed on the scenario. If true, this is proof that alarm is now spreading far beyond the borders of South Africa. This is no longer merely a local scandal. It is fast becoming an international confrontation with worldwide repercussions. Opposition leaders wasted no time capitalizing on this possible bombshell. Outside Parliament, Steenhuisen issued a scathing statement. "We are no longer dealing with a political crisis. This is both a legal and ethical breakdown at the top of our government." What he said was echoed, if more graphically, by EFF leader Julius Malema, who had this to say: "If there is a red notice, the ANC must act. If Ramaphosa is now an international criminal suspect, he must step down. South Africa cannot be led by someone being hunted across borders. Even smaller political parties have joined the call. Action SA and Rise Money leaders are demanding a proper judicial probe, temporary resignation and complete openness on any communication between Interpol and the presidency. For them, the stakes are too high for South Africa's democratic institutions to stay in the dark. The ANC in turn has its own brutal choice. Ramaphosa has long been seen as the one who brought stability following the ideologically chaotic Zuma years. His reputation as a reformer, businessperson, and negotiator was deliberately crafted both domestically and internationally. That reputation is now hanging by its very thinnest thread. If the ANC embraces him, they risk appearing as accomplices in covering up for an internationally sought-after individual. But if they leave him behind, they risk establishing a vacuum that can set off chaos within the party and further weaken its already tenuous cohesion. It is the kind of crisis that will break political movements, and the ANC is well aware of this. Reports already indicate that within the ANC factions are secretly positioning for a potential leadership change. Paul Mashetel's name, as would be expected, is already being suggested as a natural replacement where Ramaphosa pushed out. Others are referring to Justice Minister Ronald Lamola as a compromise figure who might take over to shore up the party. But any change will come at a cost in blood, and it threatens to split the ANC at the worst moment when public confidence in the governing party is as low as it has been in decades. For most South Africans, this crisis is déjà vu, a bitter reminder of the Zuma years when corruption charges and diplomatic humiliation dragged the nation's name through the dirt. But this time, the stakes are higher. If Interpol actually has its eyes on Ramaphosa, the narrative will not stay limited to parliamentary hearings or court documents. It will unfold in airports, diplomatic missions, and global summits. The president's every step may be accompanied by the threat of arrest or challenge to his right to appear in a foreign land. This is history happening in the making. An incumbent president allegedly being put under international policing action, a government in denial, and an opposition sharpening its knives. South Africa teeters on the brink of a political precipice. And this is only the tip of the iceberg. Will Ramaphosa survive the storm? Will the ANC throw him under the bus in order to survive? Or will foreign forces have their way with the next act of South Africa's political drama? Whatever the outcome, one thing is certain. This scandal has already gone international and the world is watching.